Oh, Rocco, I got you, man. That's punk rock Rocco, man. Heavy metal Rocco, man. I got him. I outsmarted him. Put ham in his bowl, man. I like it loud. We're talking heavy metal today. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I pulled it off there. Two snaps. One time. Anyways, that's me being a nerd. Here I am. What's up, Heavy Metal VC? Eclectic Eric here. Trying to focus on one category. Lover of heavy metal. And, yeah, here we go, man. Start off with, hey, if anyone's actually watched enough of these videos to have an opinion, figure I'd try The Office out. One, I don't know if you see it up here. Right here, looking in a mirror, so to speak. I got the Scales of Justice. Kind of got a heavy metal bondage, Justice, Lady Justice right there. She's blindfolded and bald gagged. Oh man, if that's not a metaphor for America. But, yeah, here I am. I guess this blue also goes with, Creatures of the Night, baby. That's what we're playing. I love it loud. War Machine. When it comes to, Kiss, man, that's classic rock. That's a post-Elders album, if I'm not mistaken. They had to come out hard. They had to come out strong. Came out with that album. Still got makeup on. I'm with that. So, a little tidbit before I get into this video. The reason I started collecting vinyl years ago, I had a massive CD collection, right? Prior to that, I had a cassette collection. At one point, I had it mixed with a little bit of my dad's collection. Living in the South, summer, 110-degree weather got up to one day. I had 70-some cassettes melt way back in the day. Probably a year later than that, or so. A little bit older, I'm not quite sure when I was actually driving occasionally, someone broke into the family vehicle, stole a stack of cassettes, right? So I started aggressively building a CD collection, and over the years between ex-girlfriends, roommates, you know how it is. Sometimes you can trust a friend, but a friend of a friend with sticky fingers. Roommate's dog got bored, smart thing. Man, I miss you, Cotton. I hated the roommate. Great dog, though. Cotton was a sweetheart. Yeah, dog chewed up a whole bunch of CDs, and then people borrow them, don't return them. All that mess. Brother-in-law had a vehicle broke into. He was borrowing a bunch of CDs to burn them. They were all trash. Anyways, I'm rambling. I went vinyl a few years back, so my collection isn't as big as it once was. It's getting there, and I'm on the hunt. Something isn't pressed. Someone showed Halford. That needs to be repressed. That is a great heavy metal H, Halford. So, anyways, before I get into the letters, I guess that story, here we go. Interrupted myself, and I'm catching myself. The reason I gave that little tidbit caveat, so to speak, is that I kind of had to cheat, man. You know? Collection isn't what it was. Isn't what it once was. It's getting back there, so finding some letters was difficult, man. They didn't all come naturally, so sometimes I used an album letter for the letter, you know? So maybe you'll see exactly what I'm saying. But shout-outs to the community, a little tribute. Metal Steve likes to start with a book. So here we are, baby. It's Bootsy, baby. You know? So, man, YouTube, make that my snippet for heavy metal. Wouldn't that be appropriate? Bootsy's a kid's book, man. You know? Who doesn't like an adorable little cat? I'm certainly not about to read you a kid's story, but you know what heavy metal is? Heavy metal is not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? So, I'm the type of guy that wear what I want to when I want to. You know, sometimes you have to know the situation. I'm not trying to wear overalls to a wedding, but, you know, sometimes you find yourself in jeans and a t-shirt at a swankier occasion. Sometimes you find yourself in a necktie at a more casual event, and you're just comfortable with yourself. So, here we go. I'm comfortable with me. I'm talking heavy metal. Extending olive branches. Firm handshakes out there. Anybody, that looks not quite like a handshake. So, but you imagine if you grab this fucking meat claw right here. I'm shaking your hand. I'm meeting you. We're rocking out. Got a little kiss in the background. And, what else is, you know what else is heavy metal? Slaughterhouse. That whiskey I showed. They're in the middle of, hey, we're in California. We like hard booze. Maybe we want to put a bloody knife on it. Maybe we want to put a meat cleaver on it. Maybe we want to do what we want. Maybe we want to be a little punk rock. Maybe we want to be a little heavy metal. We're going to do what we want. Yeah, we're moving in on Napa Valley. You heard me. It's not Kentucky. It's not Tennessee. This whiskey, which, excuse me, I have poured into a glass ass pocket flask. This is a George Dickel prescription bottle. Back in the Prohibition era, they had to get a little crafty. Same way now you can get medical weed. Back in the day, you buy a little bit of booze. So here we are, 5 minutes. I'm not talking about music yet, so that might as well begin it, right? H, heavy metal. Okay, here we go. Not Judas Priest. How are you gonna sneak in Judas Priest? There's no J's. I have to talk about Judas Priest. It's my favorite metal band of all time. It's not the Killing Machine. It's, can't read it. It's Hellbent for Leather. Kicking it off with that. Killing Machine, you know what makes this what it is? The Green Manalishi with the two-pronged crown. And I tell you what, if there's ever a heavy metal group that you could bring back to their heyday, if they were ever young again, you want to talk about a band that's still touring, still rocking, still making good music. Some of you people with your Desert Island, your Zombie Apocalypse, if you only had 10 records, chose Firepower. What does that say about a group that when they're 20 albums deep, they formed in 1969, started dropping albums in the early 70s, when they're still killing it, when they're still killing machines? What does that say about it, man? And this is back in the day, man. You got Rob Halford. This is when he actually became Robert Halford. He was no longer Bob Halford. And, man, it's Glenn Tipton and KK Downing. You got Ian Hill, of course, on bass. He's just been cranking forever. And this is back when Les Binks was on the drums. But once again, this is probably going to be the album I rant about the most, because if you've paid attention to this channel and you're not just a metal bro joining, appreciate if this is your first time here on account of metal. You never know what's going to bond you in the VC, but it's a band I just wish could go forever. That might be... I don't have any of that Ripper Owens. I just don't. And I'm not going to pay for Jugulator. I want to say outside of that Redeemer of Souls, whatever it was, Five Souls 10-inch tour, I think outside of that, I don't have Nostradamus. I probably have the entire catalog. But, so another thing, cheating, when I was going through this thing and I was thinking about it, I was like, if you've watched my videos, I'm pretty eclectic. I play a little bit of everything, you know? And I was thinking, man, what is metal? What is metal? How do you define it? Maybe I'm going to do some hard rock. Maybe I'll make metal into other things. Or, you know, I still want to keep it eclectic, but when we get down to it, it's going to be metal. And I was thinking, what's more metal than a shredding guitar? And a lot of people are going to use this for V, you know, Van Halen. But when it really came down to it, Eruption? Have you seen Van Halen live? I have. Just talking about shutting it down. I mean, it is what it is, man. And it might not be full-blown heavy metal, but, man, Eddie Van Halen shreds. And so Eruption popped in my head. I'm cheating. So be it. Who cares? No one's going to stop me. All right. We got to get an A, man. I thought for a little contradiction here. My first A, I had two to choose from. Plenty of ways to cover A. I want Alice Cooper for the juxtaposition of this being such not a metal album cover. My man's got his carnation. He's in his suit. Welcome to my nightmare. Alice Cooper, man. Nothing says heavy metal like lavender and a three-piece suit. All right. Since I already burnt that Van Halen, and my E, speaking of E's, got to remember on that. I got no notes. Forgive me. I'm off the cuff here. Speaking of E's, Elvira. Come on, man. Fat Boy got this in his size. Can't be mad at that. Who didn't grow up with Elvira in the 80s and 90s, man? Talk about one of my first crushes ever. All right, shut up, Eric. Get on with it. Appreciate anyone out there that just collects, man. It's about the music. Sometimes it ends up on vinyl. Sometimes it's a repress. Sometimes it's a first print. It's mono. You got all these different people's, you know, it's MoFi. It's Japanese Obi strip. This is, you know, UK first press and all these hang-ups. Collect what you're going to collect, man. Who cares, man? If you're an 8-track guy, you got some of those. So what? Reel to reel? If you got a cassette, Stevie Ray Vaughan here, man. Let me hold this up close. But you want to talk about a guy right there who would just bring a little metal shredding to the little blues rock genre? That guy was a rock star. That hat? Come on, man. If you're a signature guy, you're Slash, you have your look, you have your one thing. If you're Buckethead, whatever. If you're Slipknot, you got a dildo hanging off your face, and that's the coolest thing in the world. Then that's whatever. That's your thing. But my man had a signature hat. My man a lot of times wore all dark brown, all black, and he had a way about him, and he could tear up a guitar, and he made something that wasn't metal, kind of metal. And in that same vein, way back when my CDs got melted, I lost Yngwie. And then when my CDs got stolen, I lost Yngwie. And I have none on vinyl. So, that's not my why. My why's gotta be, yes, this is fragile. Let me open up this gatefold. I'm pretty sure I might have shown this in the past. I'm not sure. But, pretty standard right here. This has roundabout. This is a good condition, but, man, you want to talk about, for prog rock, a group that grooves hard? Roundabout would be the big one that everyone knows. But, man, they were heavy metal for what they were, you know? Don't get me wrong, they're not heavy metal. How do you define it? Are you death metal? Are you black metal? Are you new metal? Are you classic metal? Are you hair metal? Are you glam metal? You know, it's all whatever. Whatever your priority is, whatever your prerogative is, rock out how you rock out, man. No judgment. That's your life. Do it. Live hard, play it hard. You know, play it loud. Do it. All right, man. Just moving on, man. So there's heavy, man. Let's get into the metal. Someone showed that Sammy Hagar. I haven't watched too many of these. Like I say, I don't want my mind to be influenced. But I can't recall who, because I was just kind of powering through some of them, doing whatever. And showed that Sammy Hagar era Montrose. And people forget after that era that I'm not super deep familiar on Montrose. And this Warner Brothers Presents, it's not a soundtrack, but man, they tore it up, dude. They really did, man. I really enjoy this album. This is kind of one of those edge to label type albums for me, at least. I dig it, man. It's one of those mostly opening up. Here we go. I don't know if you hear in the background, War Machine. They came correct on this one. But yeah, interrupt myself. Who cares? No yapping. It's Montrose. Check it out. It's good stuff. Ass pocket of whiskey. I'll tell you what, though, man. This is a short album, man. I played the B-side first. It's about to be dead. We're at 13 minutes here. So, that is what it is. Alright, man. So, we're on heavy metal. That was M. Montrose. E. I had a cheat here. And I was happy to do it, man, because I was chatting with someone, texversation, in one of the streams here. And then also in a video, I recently mentioned splitting records. Don't be a puss. Split your records, man. There's no need for a keepsake, man. This is not an action figure, dude. This is not a Barbie doll. Like, get out, play with it, man. Spin your music. In that regards, man, I found this sealed, man. Metal Blade. Look at this airbrushed 80s goodness, man. But I'm gonna go and hold this up here, man, because I wouldn't be mad if this was my icon, man. Pull an eye in here. It's a killer album. Coburn. People get it right. Not the name Corbin. Who? That's a stupid name. Never liked that name. But Coburn Farr. Killer vocals, man. Really dig the vocals on Coburn Farr. And Omen, man, they shuffled some musicians. They replaced lead singers. Is this the third or fourth? I don't think it's the fifth album by Omen. But, yeah, Coburn Farr was a one-and-doner, man. And if I'm not mistaken, he went up to one of the Canadian metal groups, Annihilator. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, man. I need to get deeper on my Canadian metal. But, sorry. That's some whiskey right there, Bo. But, goddamn, Bo. But, yeah, clear out your throat. But, yeah, man. Coben Farr went to Canada. Annihilator. Never Neverland. I want to say he did one, maybe 2 albums with that, and not a huge fan of the Omen catalog. I mean, I dig it, I own it, but Corbin was the best. Annihilator. I wasn't gung-ho on Annihilator, but it's probably my favorite of that catalog. Where is this dude, man? You Wikipedia him, you look up his stuff, you look him up on Discogs, you don't get enough info on it. But there it is, man. If I was actually going to talk about the music, Radar Love, that's why I was talking about it. I copped that first press with the nudity of a golden earring. Afterwards, it had this ugly ear where the lobe was attached with this stupid gold earring with like the twist tie tag that said golden earring. Anyways, yeah, I got the nudity one because, hey, it was there, it was cheap. It's got Radar Love. It's their 9th album. And this is one of the 80s groups. There's multiple. I want to say there was at least 3. Someone list them in the comments section of 80s groups that covered Radar Love. But It's Not Easy is a great kickoff. And then Radar Love is right after that. I kind of wish they shoved it on the B side, because if you would have taken one of the maybe Thorn in Your Flesh, well, why am I thinking to myself? It's right in front of me. That's stupid. But if they would have taken I'm going to yap about this video. I'm going to showcase. It's not enough people talk about Omen. So if they would have taken Poisoned or Thorn in Your Flesh and moved that to the A side, It's Not Easy, Escape to Nowhere, and Cry for the Morning. That's a killer A side, man. If I could reshuffle that, if I was a sound engineer, I would have done that. But alright, heavy metal. M-E-T. I could spell. Look at me, I'm smart. I is smart. I showed this before, but man, I like to laugh. I like to have a good time. You know, life's too much of a struggle. There's too much crap to take in the daily grind not to laugh. And Tenacious D, man, they're the freaking metal of comedy, music, whatever. Dude, you got freaking Dave Grohl Satan on the cover there. You know, you gotta have a fun time, man. They rock. For what they do, they rock. And I'm gonna cheat real quick, because, hey, man, I have a chance to have Kiss on the background, you know? So I'm gonna do that. I might even, I don't even know if you saw the cut I was playing before that, man. I don't know if I could pause this and be quick enough that it doesn't just kill the video. I don't edit. I'm just shooting off the cuff, man. If you're listening, thank you, love you, stay metal, all that mess, all that jazz. But yeah, man, I think I might have to switch to that Grim Reaper. So I'll be back in no time for you. But we're either going to get that side A of Creatures of the Night, or we're going to get that See You in Hell, my friend. Here we go. Yeah. 2 needle drops. 1 video. It's Grim Reaper, man. Man, I like the vocals on this, man. Let me turn this up, man. Find myself in the other room here. Pause. I see you in hell, yeah. So, oh man, yeah. Either I'm talking too slow, I'm yapping too much, or that first album, that B-side's not long enough. But here we are, man. We're in the final countdown. 20 minutes is the goal. If you watch my my videos, man, it's give or take 20 minutes. Probably gonna run long. Having fun, making connections with my metal bro community, man. But except this ain't balls to the wall, man. This is back in good form, dude. Metal's still being made. Look at this sweet gatefold. Lyrics. Got this brand new and splitted. I know they have a bunch of alternate versions of this, a bunch of different colors. This is just black vinyl. I want to say they have green, yellow, red, orange. I can't recall if they're like opaque or if they're kind of translucent. But lead singer left years later. Man, I might be wrong. Time to go to bed. TT Quick. Didn't they have the song Metal Man back in the day? They were one of those kind of like Anvil groups that toured with that artist. I want to say they were touring with like Megadeth and everything, and they just never took off. But that singer is still rocking. This is Nuclear Blast Records, man. I got a few different albums from Nuclear Blast Records, and they're all in super good condition. And man, this thing rips. Stampede. Check out the album, the video on YouTube. It's just a bunch of old timers, young at heart, young in body, young in mind, rocking hard, and they're killing it just on a desert mountain face. just destroying it. So Stampede and Dying Breed is a cool little incognito tribute, salute, using lyrics to put props on the people that came before them or with them and after them, and talking about real metal. But Blind Rage, except better now than it was back then. Maybe it's controversial. I don't care. Personal opinion. But last album, this is like, let me just preface this before I show it. They make Pink metal. I don't care what you say. You might want to say one thing or another. That's a Pink album cover. But my L, I was trying. At first I was like, you know what? I got a pretty decent Led Zeppelin collection. Let me try to look up, people, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, early Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. They always say, what were the contributors? What were the creators? What added to making or creating heavy metal, right? And so when it all came down to it, I was like researching. I was like, what's the hardest Led Zeppelin song? If I was going to show a Led Zeppelin record for L, then what would I do to represent that, right? And I was going to show that album. And I flipped through my record collection, and before I even got there, man, I was kind of putting some things away, and I was flipping. I saw this Death. And this isn't my favorite type of metal, but that's a gnarly, dope, rad, awesome, freaking metal cover. And, man, I know it's just a sunset, but that thing is pink. And you think he cares, man? Leprosy, dude. This back right here, this, I doubt it was a tribute, but every time I see this colorscape, I think of that Judas Priest live, with the fingers on it. But, anyway, so I think of that colorscape with that kind of bronze and bronze gold sepia type style right there. But yeah, man, Leprosy, dude. It's probably the best track on there. That's why they named the album after that. It's a gnarly album cover, and that's how I'm gonna exit, man. The two best songs on this Grim Reaper are the first two songs, man. Dead on Arrival, man. That's a gnarly track. Back in the day, that was a song, that's the type of song you'd walk out to a fist fight to, man. But that ends See You in Hell. But anyways, for any of you guys out there that partake, cheers to you, man. I'm enjoying these. I hope you made it to the end. But a couple shots of whiskey, a little bullshitting, a little heavy metal. And hey, man, by all means, tune in, because if I'm showing random videos and his pickups, and dude, if you're all metal, more power to you, man. I want to pull through your knowledge and learn new stuff. I like a little bit of everything. And, if I got one's, new jazz finds or new funk finds or new soul finds, and you don't want to privy to that, you don't want to viddy that, whatever, you don't want to partake in it, whatever you want to say, so be it, man. Live your life. There's so many people out here doing their thing, making videos and sharing that, hey, stay in your comfort zone. I'm not going to be mad at you. But I like to shoot the shit. I like to keep it real. I talk to all different walks of life and have a good time and respect everyone and do my thing. But yeah, if you see a random video, man, if you see a random finds, you see, getting weird with Eric Weinbender, man, and I'm showing some hauls, man, you better believe, if it's just, 1 out of 20, man, you might just be like, yeah, I got that. Oh, man, I forgot about that. Oh, right on, man. You kind of have to buy Guns N' Roses when it's that cheap. So, yeah, there's definitely plenty of Judas Priest in my previous videos if you want to go back there and have a chuckle looking at your idiot friend here. But either way, man, I appreciate you. Take care. Rock hard.